Hello and welcome to Chatty's Corner. I am here today with a special guest, Matthew Barnes. As I told you, this show would be filled with so many different things, so many different varieties of things. And so I am honored to have my first guest today, a special guest to me. I'm not going to get into that. But anyway, we're going to start our interview with Matthew Barnes here today. And Matthew, how are you doing today?
I'm all right. I'm good.
Good. That's good. Matthew, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I guess I could. I do a multitude of things. I'm not just an author. I just do a lot of things as far as YouTube. I've been doing that since 2013. I do music. I also, write scripts and whatnot, and just try to keep myself busy. Yeah, and then I've been creative since I was like 5, I guess, where I just been in a lot of plays and just started writing, like creating like superheroes and different characters along my mind. But yeah, that's mainly it. I'm just a very creative person.
Okay, how old are you, Matthew?
21.
Wow, you got a lot done. You seemed like you had been busy for a while there. Okay, Matthew, so we're here to talk about your new book, Distance. Okay, Matt, what made you write this book?
Honestly, it was mainly just out of boredom and mid semi depression.
Okay.
If I be real.
Okay.
So mainly it was just boredom because it was the summer and I can't believe I'm actually saying this. I actually got bored of playing video games. As you guys see, I'm a huge video game enthusiast. But I got bored, so I wanted to try something new as far as like creative.
Okay.
I always wanted to see how I can push my creative limits as far as like what I can do more than just creating videos or creating stories. I never saw myself creating a book, but one day I just got into a notebook, started writing stuff, and started to see like where that would take me. It was mainly based off of like a real life situation where I had lost a friend where I wanted to hang out with that person like 24/7, and
Okay.
when they moved, it was like, oh well, it kind of sucks.
Mm-hmm.
So and I didn't know how to like really express it as much. So it's just like I guess like this book was like the way to express it.
Oh, okay.
And on top of that, I just love creating the story. I love the characters, and along the way when I was writing it, it was kind of enjoyable.
Okay, when was it written? When did you start writing it?
Yeah, it was originally written like in 2015. I went. I think I went to this. I guess it was like a camp. I don't want to call it like a camp, but it was like a summer type of thing where you would go there. It was like a little place for like teens to go during the summer. And we really didn't do anything. The place was really dumb. It was mainly like a place for like the other people to like practice something that they were doing somewhere else, and the other people were just sat there doing nothing. But I wrote my notebook along that time and just started writing, and that's where Distant really kind of came out. And it didn't really start. I didn't really intensely started writing until like 2017.
Okay.
And that's where like the completion started to happen.
Okay. How did you come up with the characters in this story? Tell us a little bit. First, tell us how did you come up with the characters, and then tell us a little bit about some of the characters in your story.
Yeah. So some of the characters are based off of like real life and people that I've met, people that I still know. Okay. It's a lot of stuff from real life that's put into a kind of fictional world.
Okay.
So a lot of characters are based off some of my friends that I've known through high school, through church, through just everyday life where I see them. Some of them are based off work, to be honest.
Okay.
But the main character is basically loosely based off me. A lot of the things that I have endured or I have experienced. The best friend of my character, Serenity, she's based off someone that I used to know. Well, she takes inspiration from multiple different people that I've known.
Okay.
And I just kind of just stuff them into one character. Okay. And then his best friend, Mike's best friend, Richard. He's loosely based off some of the guy friends that I've encountered along the way. And these characters just really grown into something else. It was sort of like based off these characters, but they sort of became their own as more and more I started to write about them.
Okay.
They sort of like formed into like this new character that I didn't even know. As I kept writing, the characteristics of them just started to flow.
Form together.
Yeah,
Okay.
practically that's how it happened.
What type of audience are you trying to attract with this book? Like, what age would be appropriate for the book? What kind of audience that you would like to get the attention of with this book?
Yeah, like the main group I really want to target is the teens, like the late teens, like going into like 16, 17, 18.
Okay.
There's a lot of stuff that a lot of teens would deal with as far as high school life, family life, love life, all that normal teenage stuff. And some people might have a specific situation. For instance, this book has a lot of specific intuitions that happen in people's lives that might not happen to a regular teenager or someone who does experience stuff, that might really speak to them. So I really want to target those people who, struggle with a lot of stuff as far as, loss and self-doubt. And just losing a best friend that can really hurt. Moving away like that that can really suck. Because then you have to like start it feels like you have to start all over.
Right.
But I also want to target like the adults as well, because we shouldn't shy away from that, because adults go through the same thing. It never really stops. So
right. And that sort of can take them back to something that they can relate to when they were teenagers, something that had occurred. Maybe they moved away when they were younger, and they said, "Oh yeah, I remember that, how I felt," and it just helps them to either reminisce a little bit. So yeah, you're right.
I do that like from time to time. Like I always reminisce about
certain things. Yeah,
and it's just like this book was basically like that form, and like in book form.
Okay. So, if you can name one person, who do you get your inspiration from with writing and just some of the things that you do? Where do you get your inspiration from?
It's one person in particular, J.D. Salinger, who wrote Catcher in the Rye. I love that book mainly because of how he just portrayed a young adolescent, and it was just like the first page you saw like the adolescent swear. Okay. That was like the first revolutionary thing, because they never really did that in novels or anything. Okay. So I found that like really cool. So I wanted to do the same thing as far as like break revolutionary type of thing, whereas I won't really have a lot of common tropes that a novel would have as far as like symbolism and themes and whatnot. It was just mainly about characters and how you connect to those characters. Right. So when things happen, you almost relate to that character. You feel connected to that character. Okay. You feel bad for them. So that's mainly like I get inspiration from him and how he wrote his book and the style he did it in.
Okay. Okay. What can we expect to see coming from you next?
Yeah. There's a lot. I mean, not just, and I want to shine light on not just the book, but there is a book that I'm writing currently. It takes place in the future, and it follows a girl who, lost her father, and he was murdered, but it wasn't really case closed. So she goes to digging up and try to find everything, what happened wrong, and basically tries to do the police officer's job. Okay. And she finds the guy who murdered her father, so she plans to go after him. It's set in like a utopian / dystopian type of world where a lot of things are kind of crazy, and it's
so sci-fi
sort of like that. Okay. Yeah, so it's like I want to. This book, Distant, was mainly just to get everybody into, because I know everyone's not really that quick to jump into sci-fi, even though possibly one of the biggest film or novels that's going around. But I just wanted to really just play it safe with this one, and the next book is really going to be something very special as far as the storytelling. Okay. As far as like, other things, YouTube, I'm planning to expand my brand as far as, what I'm doing. Mainly just do gaming now, or I have the Why I Love series where I talk about things that I love and express it. That's nice. All those stuff that I'm planning
like
to do.
Steaks? No,
pretty much. I plan to do like a lot of podcast stuff going on. currently working on that, and then I plan to start streaming on Twitch and whatnot. Yeah, so you guys can definitely find me on that. I'm pretty sure maybe a lot of people have found me on that. Alchemy on YouTube. Also working on music and.
Oh, you're busy.
Yeah, pretty much. I definitely want to say right here that I am working on a soundtrack for Distant.
Okay.
And I'm trying to announce right now that maybe we'll do a paperback version that's coming out.
Yes,
along with that paperback.
tell us how we can get this book. I know it's not paperback yet, but how can we get this book for now? Like, give us the information that we need to get this book, to be one of the first to get this book. How can we get it? Just tell my audience how we can get this book.
So it's kind of simple. I can have a link. I believe you shared it on your page.
It's on my page. Yes.
That link, you'll click that link, and you'll have to make sure that you are on a laptop or a computer. If you on your phone, probably won't work because this the way that Kindle does their pre-orders. But if you do it on a computer, you can easily pre-order. The book is currently priced at $9.99. So if you guys definitely have the money at that moment, it'd be much appreciated. After that, you'll be sent a code. That code will be sent to you, and it's basically confirming that you have your copy. So when the actual book is released, you can always read it wherever you're at. You can read it on your computer, phone, tablet, whatnot. So it's very easily to access. And I want to make it a little bit easier for a lot of people when I get the paperback ready. All the profit that is made from the digital version will go to the paperback version, so we can get that rolling as soon as possible.
Okay, sounds good. Again, you heard it here first. Matthew Barnes with his new book, Distant, and we're looking to see so much more from Matthew. So again, he gave you the information. Go and download that book, support him, log onto his YouTube, all the things that he has going on for him. So again, thank you, Matthew, for joining us. It was a pleasure sitting down, talking to you, and finding out what you are, what you're heading towards and what you're going to do. Thanks again, Matthew.
No problem.
It's been a pleasure.